Oh yes, we're talking about periods. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Catherine and I make videos all about sustainability and wellness. Today I thought I'd cover a really important topic. It's one I've been avoiding just because I know I have an equal male and female audience, but today I am covering how to have a zero waste period. Over time I've been collecting a load of questions that people have asked me about zero waste periods, so make sure you stay tuned until the end so I can answer those questions for you. To begin with, there's quite a few ways that you can have a zero waste period, whether this is a menstrual cup or reusable pads or even special pants that you can get that have pads built into them that you can just put into the wash and then use them again. Personally for me, I like to use a menstrual cup. So a menstrual cup looks like this. So it's not plastic, it's squidgy material, it's completely safe for the body. So I've been using a menstrual cup now for 4 years, and last night I sat and worked out how much money I've saved and my mind was blown. In 4 years of using a cup, so this is bearing in mind that I used to buy every month. I know people spend different amounts of money on their periods depending on how heavy they are, but for me personally, I used to buy super tampons, regular tampons, night pads, and the little thin, like not actual pads, but like the thin ones, whatever they are. Pads. Not buying those for 4 years and just using this little fella. This is a new one, by the way. I'm not just like waving around my dirty cup. I just opened it. Anyway, in 4 years, oh, I've dropped it. In 4 years of using a menstrual cup, I have saved £1,530. That's a lot of money. That's so much money. To buy a cup, so the organic cup that I first bought was £30, but I believe this one is £21.99. Let me quickly check. Yes. So this little fella is £21.99. So realistically, depending on how much you spend each month during your period, you can make that back in like 3 to 6 months, depending on how much you use each month, how heavy your flow is, things like that. But it's quite cool that you can make your money back and save that much money, because for me, before I even embarked on my environmental journey, that was the selling point, because I hated the fact that I had to pay so much money each month just to bleed. So depressing. So yeah, the first thing is it's great for money. The other thing I wanted to share was that I really like the menstrual cup in comparison to tampons, because, and I don't know if it's just me or if it's like a thing that loads of girls get, but when I was using tampons before, I would feel like a dull ache, like all day I would really ache downstairs, like it would be really painful, and I thought that was just part of having my period. And then I got a cup, and the first month that I used my cup, I experienced no dull ache down there. It was just the best feeling to know that actually it was the tampons that I was using that was causing that pain. And I don't know whether it's down to the chemicals that I used to bleach tampons, like part of me thinks it was that. I don't know if it was the fact that like there's nothing for the tampon to grip onto, the weight of it inside, I'm not sure what it was, but that pain that I used to experience all the time has really gone away, and that is a really great bonus to have my periods be a little bit more comfortable. Another reason I like it is that I find them really small and discreet for traveling. So when I was buying so many things, if I was sleeping around someone's house or if I was going on holiday, I had so much stuff to carry with me. Whereas this, you can just pop in the little bag that it comes in. It's like a little canvas bag that you can just pop it in, and it's discreet. Nobody knows what it is. You can just hide it and it's easy. Another great thing about these is they hold 3 times more the amount than a regular tampon, and that's really cool because it means that you have to change it less regularly. Another great thing about it is that you can now buy it in supermarkets. So at first you could only order them online, but now you can get them in like Boots or in the pharmacy, so it's really easy to grab hold of, which is great. So in terms of numbers, there are 3 different ones that I have to share with you today. So the first one is that you'll use around 11,000 disposable disposable product in your life in terms of feminine hygiene. By you using this one product that should last you many years at least, you are saving yourself from using over 11,000 things that are never going to go away. That segues quite nicely onto my next fact, which is during a World Beach Clean Day, there was 28,000 used tampons that were picked up and found in the sea, and that was just in one day. And then in terms of globally, the impact that tampons and pads have on the world, 45 billion products are used around the world globally. So next, I'll move on to the Q&A section of this video. The more I've spoken about this with people, I get a lot of concerns and they ask for my feedback, so I thought it'd be really useful to kind of put all of these questions in a video so you can refer to it if you are thinking about making the change yourself. So the first question is, how do you insert it? I'm not gonna lie, the first couple of times you use this, it is a little bit of a mission because you're not really used to using something like it. But there is a diagram on the website if you want to refer to it. You take it like this, and then you're going to fold it in half, and then fold it again. So it looks like this. And then how I like to do it personally, so it recommends on the website that you either lift a leg, so it's like elevated the same way you would put in a tampon, but I find it's easiest if you squat, but like you'll get used to it and you'll feel at which point it's incorrectly, whereabouts it feels comfortable for you. Just be kind to yourself and like practice before you're on your period if you want to get used to putting it in and out, just in case you need to change at work or something like that. But honestly, once you've done it a couple of times, it will be so easy. In terms of getting it out, so you just need to pinch the bottom like this. Because there are little air sockets around it, when you pinch it, you are stopping the air sockets from using suction to keep it in. So you can pinch it and then just take it out. Easy peasy. But yeah, once you get used to taking it in and out, you'll be good to go. Quite nicely follows on from that question is it messy? So the first time I used it, it was quite messy. So I was actually on a work placement at the time, and stupidly I hadn't practiced with it, nothing like that. The first time I took it out, I dropped it on the floor, and luckily there was no one in the bathroom with me. But yes, it can be if you're not careful. So I would highly recommend you practice before your period comes. But I'm also incredibly clumsy, so I don't think there's something that would happen to you. I think I'm just a klutz. And also with changing it, it doesn't need to be messy because they do last much longer than tampons. For most people, you should be able to just pop it in at the start of the day and then take it out after work or take it out after school. If you are extremely heavy like I am, then you may need to change it, but again, just get practicing. So in terms of cleaning it in between uses, when you're at home, you can just rinse it under the sink and just clean it and then pop it back in. But if you are in public, then you've got two options. You can either bring a bottle of water into the toilet with you and then just like rinse it while you're in the cubicle, or you can just use toilet roll and just wipe it and then use it again. So it depends on what you prefer to do. I like to bring water in, but again, like I said, I don't usually have to change it very often when I'm in public places because they do last such a long time. So another question I've been asked is, how do you know when to change it? So for me, it took a lot of like getting to know my body, and using one actually helped me understand my body a bit more. So I kind of knew the timing, but I think you can definitely feel when it needs changing. I would recommend the first like 3 periods that you have when you use it, that you use the tiny little pads, because then that way you can kind of monitor it and keep on top of it and get to know how often you're going to be needing to change it. And once you've finished, you should know, oh, on the first day of my period I usually need to change it 3 times, and then the rest I can leave it all day. So yeah, I would recommend either buying one of those reusable like clip-in pads, or just using the small pads until you get familiar with your body and how often you need to change it. Another question I get asked quite often is, can you feel it once it's inside? For me, this is a really telltale sign to figure out whether it's in properly or whether it needs to be adjusted. So if I can feel it when I'm walking around, I know that it's not quite in the right place. The last question that I always get asked is, do you leak when you use it? So yes, like any other product, you are able to leak if you don't change it properly. So I've had quite a few occasions where I've had really heavy flow and I've been asleep and I've leaked, but again, that is just you getting to know your body, how often you need to change it, and then avoiding leaks. In day-to-day life, you shouldn't leak because it does hold so much more and last so much longer. You should be fine. The last question was, how can you sterilize it to keep it clean in between periods? So there's a couple of options that you can use here. So you can use a sterilizing solution that you would use for like baby bottles and things like that if you just want to leave it and soak it in that. Otherwise, if you can get a small pot that you can boil it in, I believe you boil it for like 10 or 15 minutes. Obviously you don't want to use one that you cook your food with, you'd get your own little separate one, but if you just leave it in the boiling water, that's going to completely kill any bacteria, so that'll keep it nice and clean. Okay, so that concludes my video on zero waste periods and my method into using no plastic during my menstrual cycle. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a thumbs up if you did, because it helps people find my videos. If you're thinking about making the transition from using tampons and pads to going to a menstrual cup, then I have a link down below where you can purchase one, or like I said, you can now find them in pharmacies, which is really easy and makes them really accessible. I hope that you'll consider making the change, because in the 4 years that I've done it, my life has become much better and my periods are a lot less stressful now. I just think the impact that it has on the planet is so valuable. If you give it a go and you don't like it, at least you tried. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to subscribe below and tick the bell if you want to be notified every time I post. I will see you in the next video on Sunday. Bye!